I want to go ahead and cover the FTSE for all the folks that are listening in out there in Europe. The FTSE is actually up today also. It is up 44 points, actually 44.54 points. That's a percentage increase of 0.78%. Closing out today at 5,766.88 points. All right, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, for all the capitalists that are out there in Europe, you know what I mean? I know I got a lot of them. All right, I mean, believe it or not, if you take a look at the capitalist army, the crux of the capitalist army out there is comprised of a lot of individuals straight out of Europe. London, the London area of all places. So that's what I'm talking about. And as a matter of fact, the way David Cameron is, kind of dealing with his economic situation long term, I think that the English, stand to reign supreme here while everybody's out here debasing their currency and, spending themselves into oblivion and not dealing with the obvious. Dave Cameron's out here, putting his nuts on the line saying, oh, we got to do it this way, and we got to do it this way, and there's not what else we can do. And all you people that don't like it, you shove it up your arse, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I'm saying, mate? And that's, you can't, hey, he's down for his, man. You got to give Dave Cameron some credit. But anyway, once again, if you were a traditional investor, all right, if you were a traditional investor, one would observe the equities market gains and make an assumption that you would see decreases in the commodities markets, right? Wrong. The complete opposite. On the contrary, commodities all went up. What the hell is this? Helter-skelter! Helter-skelter! This is the kind of market that we're dealing with out here as capitalists. That's why I'm saying, folks, long-term investor reigns supreme here in this market. All right? Long-term investor reigns supreme. All right? That's all there is to it. All right? That's all there is to it. Long-term investment. I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, you make money. Hey, at least in America, you cannot become a day trader. And for all those folks that don't know what day trading is when individuals that want to partake in pattern trading the waves of a particular stock or market, basically trading stocks on such a consistent basis 3 or more times a day. I believe that's how the law is defined now that our liberal regulation system has extended its arm into this wing of investing. Now, because I guess the liberal regime blames the financial meltdown on the American people, the only people that are going to be able to participate in the volatility, and for all you folks that don't know what volatility is, well, get a goddamn dictionary and look it up. But, I think in this time when you got high unemployment, you got a lot of people out here on the streets looking for work, I can't believe that the government is prohibiting middle-class folks that have actually, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in a nest egg somewhere. What boggles my mind is that they can't put that in a brokerage account and be able to pattern trade, day trade. Which is like, hey, I'm going to buy this stock at 9:30 in the morning, and then I'm going to hold it here for about 30 minutes and watch that stock increase. Before it goes down, I'm going to sell it off. All right? And then, if it goes back up again, I'm going to buy it again and ride that sucker on upward. Well, if you don't have, which the government minimum is, all right? All right? The government minimum is what? What is it? $25,000 on margin. You have to have $25,000 on margin thanks to the government regulations out here for you to even participate in this type of trading. If you look at any chart of any stock, and for all the folks that are listening in out there, if you look at any chart of any stock and look at the amount of waves just in one day or 1 week, all right, it's very easy to look up, folks. You got your little internets right there. And if you take a look at the amount of waves right there, you could have gotten a couple of cents in those waves, if you could be able to participate in pattern trading and day trading, but you can't do it. You can't do it because the new liberal regulation that prohibits individuals like yourself that may have like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in a nest egg, you know what I'm saying? They want to put it in a brokerage account. You can't do it. You got to have $25,000 in capital, and then you got to put it on margin. Yeah. Thanks, liver regime. Jesus Christ. Anyway, we got Brent crude. Let me tell you, the commodities are all up. I mean, it boggles my mind. I mean, equities up, commodities up. Once again, helter freaking skelter. Brent crude is up $2.79. All right, that's a percentage increase of 2.63%, closing out today at $108.78 per barrel of Brent crude oil. All right, gasoline futures have increased $21.50. That's a percentage increase of 2.45%. What happened, Obama? I thought the releasing of the Strategic Petroleum Oil Reserve in America was going to somehow artificially bring these prices down. It doesn't look like it. Anyway, heating oil futures. Heating oil futures are also up $6.22. That's a percentage increase of 2.25%. We got natural gas futures increasing dramatically today. If you were in this market, you were making some cake. They increased 10 cents. That's a percentage increase of 2.42%. And WTI sweet crude. This is the oil that was supposed to go down once the president gave the okay to just go ahead and open up the Strategic Oil Reserve, for Christ's sake. This price was supposed to come down in some fashion, right? Wrong. It is up today, $2.54. That's a percentage increase of 2.80%. Closing out today, and get this, $93.15 per barrel of WTI sweet crude, folks. I mean, once again, this is a consequence of government intervening with private enterprise. It's just an utter disgrace. It's a recipe for disaster. All right? This whole mess, this whole Keynesian economic experiment that has transpired here within the past 6-7 years has just been a joke. It's been an utter joke. And it's got to stop. The problem is if it stops, we're going to be like Greece. Have y'all seen the images out of Greece today, for Christ's sake? I mean, they're rioting in the streets, man. And why are they rioting in the streets? Because their socialist little experiment is collapsing from within inside of itself. I mean, you cannot continue to sustain a nation state of masses that are dependent on a nation state that produces absolutely nothing. I mean, what was the last thing that you had that was made from Greece? Nothing. Nothing. You know what I mean? Absolutely nothing. See, so right now you've got the Greeks out there. They're much like the United States at this point. They're so dependent on taxpayer-funded entitlements that now that they have to, implement this austerity measure, they're going nuts. They're going nuts in the streets. I mean, do the YouTube searches. I mean, all the damn footage is there. It's a disgrace. No more retiring at 42. No more, collecting unlimited benefits up until you croak. I mean, none of this garbage anymore, and they're pissed. They don't want to go back to work. It's horrible. And that's much like what we have here in America. And, instead of us trying to nip it in the bud with some kind of fiscal responsibility, we all, on both sides of the political spectrum, they're idiots, They're idiots. I mean, right wing, left wing, they're morons. They're idiots. I mean, they keep spending, and you see, the more and more our government keeps spending, it devalues the dollars I got in my pocket. You understand? I mean, whenever you see prices increasing, it's not because there's a shortage of anything. Maybe on some things because of emerging markets demanding certain commodities, so on and so forth. But the reason you're seeing an increase is not only the high energy costs, but the deflation, the disgusting devaluing of our American dollar, the devaluing of the American dollar. And why is it devaluing? Because our government continues to spend on these ridiculous entitlements that has done nothing but stagnate our civilization. I mean, just look at the consequence of all these entitlements, for Christ's sake. It has stagnated our civilization. I mean, America has actually brought a lot of the countries that are out here, actually our competitors, we actually brought them into this type of modernity with investment, with military protection from enemies, so on and so forth. And what's sad is that our complacency, our willingness to just be some fat, disgusting blob that just turns perfectly good food into shit and watches substandard entertainment, seems to be the mediocre existence that the majority of the American people seem to encompass at this point in time. And meanwhile, we've got all these people all over the world advancing. Highly intelligent people, all right? Highly intelligent individuals out here from all over the world out here, and, we're being left behind in America because we are falling complacent, much like Greece fell complacent. And once again, I challenge you, what's the last thing that you know that has been made out of Greece? Have you ever had a product that says made in Greece? No, you don't. And you're never going to, because these assholes don't want to go out and work. So that's all there is to it. Anyway, let me get through the damn markets here, and then I'm going to take your calls, all right? Agriculture, everything's up. You're going to notice almost everything is up, for Christ's sake, all right? Canola futures, they are up $2.90. Cocoa is up $23. And let me tell you something right now. We have seen nothing but positive numbers coming out of the cocoa market. So that is definitely going to relay. I'm telling you, if you haven't already seen it, in anything that encompasses sugar or chocolate, specifically chocolate, and sugar for that, because we have seen a run on sugar. I've checked the chart on that. It looks pretty unbelievable. All right? You take a look at these charts, for Christ's sake. If you haven't seen the prices of your ice creams and your goddamn popsicles and your goddamn candy bars and all that crap, if you haven't seen it or noticed it go up, then you're an imbecile, because it has, all right? Either that or the company's chinching you out, like, they're kind of curbing a little bit of the portion, so on and so forth, all right? Anyway, it is up $23 cocoa, all right? Coffee, good God. We had seen some gradual declines in the coffee futures. A complete spike today. It is up $7.85. That's a percentage increase of 3.13% today on your goddamn money. All right? 3.13% for coffee. And then you take a look at corn, for Christ's sake. Oh, Jesus Christ. Freaking corn. Did anybody take a look at how much corn went up today? It's just ridiculous. And once again, it's this freaking corn ethanol subsidies that are funded by our tax dollars that turn perfectly good food that could be, fed out there to the population and bring down the cost of corn so more people can eat. But instead, we got this liberal regime trying to be green. We have to provide a different alternative energy source than petroleum, and we need taxpaying dollars to do it. Give me a goddamn break. Anyway, corn is up, for Christ's sake. $26.25. That's a percentage increase of, get this, 4.19%, for Christ's sake. Good God. Jesus Christ. Give me a drink, for Christ's sake. As a matter of fact, I got a pretty good drink here, because I have been making some increases in the markets. I actually have some goddamn margarita that I have shaken up here in my office bar, all right? And we have in the office building here, we got an ice machine, believe it or not. And I got it right here in this shaker, baby. And I am just sipping on some margaritas. I've got a bottle of this Cantina. I said it was Catalina yesterday, but Catalina is a freaking city in Puerto Rico or some crap. So anyway, I want to say cheers to everybody out there who's listening in. Cheers. Hopefully you're capitalizing. Hopefully you're making some money. If you're not, man, figure out a way. No matter where you are in the world, remember there's a market. You have to define your market, whether it's an extensive market like Wall Street where they're selling stocks, or if it's a small market where you're selling things like food. I know there are people that listen into this broadcast that are in certain areas of the world where, the market exchange is much like that of an open-air market of previous centuries. They're trying to emerge out of this particular type of market and get themselves into modernity. And what I say to those people that are out there in these types of markets is look for opportunities. Look for ways where, you can, not necessarily just specifically capitalize on your market, but be one of the innovators of finance in your particular area, and